What's up? Yo, Violet Ninja, what's up? Welcome to the stream, Violet. I didn't... Did you change your name to something? Like, have you been supporting the channel for a while? Or are you, like, are you relatively new? I don't know how I feel about this weapon yet. Okay. A lot of luck just happened right there. Wow, okay. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys. I should be dead right now. Okay, wow, this is actually getting weirdly intense. It's hardcore and I'm already doing this well. This feels wrong. How are we already triple capping? This is weird, dude. I don't like this, actually. Let them cap something, man. I don't feel safe right now. Are you kidding me, dude? I suck. I'm so... That music make it intense? Yeah, the music is actually kind of nice. I like the feel that it gives to the stream. Definitely. I agree with you. Definitely gives sort of an intense vibe. This guy right there. Nice, nice. Yo, MDep, what's up? Welcome to the stream. You're a new subscriber? Hey, AJ. Well, AJ, nah, that's not true. I've seen you in some other streams, man. What are you talking about? I think I have, anyway. Ooh. Imagine losing that gunfight. This weapon's got some really weird side-to-side recoil. Yeah, the music is awesome. Good. I'm glad you guys like it, actually. That's good. I'm going to keep playing this in my future streams, then. I'll play it in zombies. I'll play it in... I feel like this would actually be some really cool music in zombies. Like, really cool music. Wow. Autovolt annihilated. That was insane, actually. There's no way I should have survived that, to be honest. I have no idea what's going on in this game. I just got done playing some BO3 Zombies. You can't go wrong with BO3. The BO3 Zombies is amazing. I feel like it's more so just the fact that, like, Treyarch Zombies is so good. If we could skip... Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I like this game, right? Imagine if there was a way we could just skip this COD. Just go right to the next one. That'd be amazing. There's one over there, teammate. Don't die. You have this flag. Yeah, I don't know how much I like this weapon. I feel like if I were to keep using this, I feel like maybe I would want not fast mag. I feel like I would want maybe rapid fire on it. I feel like without rapid fire, it feels too weird, you know? I feel like I'm shooting, it just has too much weird side-to-side recoil, so when I go to, like... I didn't even see that guy. So when I go to shoot it, it's way too weird. Should recognize that guy in the flag. What's up, Alex? How you doing today, buddy? Right as that look away, man. That's the thing. I can't look at the chat while I'm playing, man. Look at that. That's just gonna have Tiger Strike. I like this guy. He's going 23-3. I need him to be dropping streaks for us, though. He's not dropping anything. Enemy in the armory. What's the next song? Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully we won't get an ad on it. Here. Gotta love the ads, man. Hopefully it's a short one. I don't really want to have to alt-tab and skip it. Not alt-tab it. Yeah, I'm not. It's easy enough to do. Riddle me that. What's up, Baymaster? Still back there? No. What's up, Cameron? What's up, Phase Rise? Yo, Phase Rise. What's up, man? Oh, we got to play the game. All right. Yeah, look at this. Wait a minute. No, you can't tell me that my play of the game includes a kill on one of my own teammates. Wow. That's actually embarrassing, dude. What song is this? This song's called Old School Boom Bap Guitar Hip Hop Instrumental Chill Rap Beat Purpose. Chunky beat. So I guess it's called Purpose. Whatever happened to Optic Fab, I have no idea, dude. He was a crazy supporter for so long, though. And he just disappeared. Never came back. Only Lord knows what happened to him. I think he's still one of the people with, like, the most coins. I think... Or actually, no, I don't. He might not be, because I think he spent a lot of his coins on, like, one giveaway that I did. And then just never showed back up. Ah. Funny times. I feel like we need more enemies, man. Freaking dude, I'm pushing it. Okay, that really confused me, not gonna lie.
Counter recon aircraft ready for flight. Counter recon is airborne. Engaging enemy aircraft. We control all objectives. Hold the line.
Whoa, I'm typing in the game. Holy Jesus. Could you imagine? I don't know why he just decided to go AFK right there. I'm not going to argue with that.
Recon flight concluded.
No! Oh!
Counterintelligence flight concluded. RT Charlie is lost.
Get it back out of there. I put that on C, didn't I? Oh, I'm on a 15! Wait. Whoa. Everything else I can call in? I don't. No, come on, teammates. You gotta help me with something here, dudes. You gotta help me with something. Okay. Teammate, you go that way for me. Help me out a little bit. I'm actually nervous right now. Am I on a streak? I think I am. Well, obviously I am on a streak.
They're taking Able.
Just try not to choke it here. Kind of want them to cap. Imagine dropping my first V2 rocket, man. God, I would love that so much right now. You guys don't even understand. I want a V2 rocket so bad. I'm gonna bait you, teammate. I'm gonna bait you really hard. I can't peek that. It's way too risky. I just shot and killed a teammate. I'm so sorry, teammate. I think if I kill another teammate, I might be...
Enemy capturing Able.
20? No way, man. No freaking way.
We control all objectives.
Why have I pushed up this far? I can't be pushed up this far. I can't be.
This is a Chucky Beat production.
I don't know what to do, man. I'm way too nervous right now. Ah, I'm so sorry, teammate. I'm so sorry. Tiger Strike, I'm so sorry, dude. You're on a streak, too. Oh my... No! No! What?
All positions secured.
How did I not get that, dude? Oh, my lord, man. That sucks. How did I get that kill?
They're capturing Able.
Could never be me. What's up, Gala, though? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Look at that, man. That is... We were on a 20. We were literally... I mean, I know we had a couple kills with our freaking... What's it called? I just don't know. I don't know. Point blank range, man, with that. I don't get it, dude. I get it. I just need... I thought I needed myself. What's up, Darren Hudson, though, dude? Oh, my lord.
They are in full retreat.
I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed, chat. I swear. I'm just gonna keep my composure. We're cool. Hen estimates you are better than this, JK. Imagine getting that. I feel sad. And it's why your bullets colored blue? What are you talking about? They shouldn't be blue. But yo, Gala, you have to tell me how you're pulling so many viewers. What's your secret? Maybe it's Fortnite. I gotta play Fortnite. That's what I gotta start doing. We're getting this next game. I think the secret is literally, it's this grease gun class setup. The secret was putting on Primed. Primed has got to be my favorite. Hennis, my video has 20,000 views for some reason. What video? A video that you uploaded, MDup? I don't believe you. Hold on, I gotta check. MDup uploaded the video and got 20,000 views. Never been more proud of my life. A month ago. What? Vines that give me life. You can't make that up. How did you do that? That's... Play Fortnite right now? I don't want to play Fortnite right now. Do any of you guys have this? If any of you guys play Fortnite on the PC... Okay, please vote London Docs. When you try to go full screen, does it automatically downscale your resolution to like 1280 by 720 instead of 1920 by 1080, which is my native monitor resolution?